Now the next point that we are going to talk about is socialization. I told you socialization is a process, the way you make contacts with people, the way you interact with other people, etc. Okay. Socialization. It is a term used by sociologists which refers to lifelong process of inheriting and disseminating norms, customs, values, habits and ideology. So they are saying socialization is a long-term process, right? The child starts socializing as soon as the child is born. The first socialization starts with the mother, then with the father, then with the other family members. And through socialization, you inherit. Inherit meaning you understand and you incorporate in yourself. Norms. Norms means rules. Okay. Customs, traditions, values, habits, ideologies. So your values, habits, ideology, customs, traditions, you learn about all these things from the process of socialization. And who teaches you all these things? Your family teaches you. Your family teaches you what kind of clothes you should wear, right? What customs to follow, what should girls do, what should girls not do. Okay, how to behave in a temple, how to behave in a school, what are different rules you should follow in the society, what are the rules you should follow at home. So that is what socialization teaches us. It is a process through which social cultural continuity is attained. Okay, it's a process through which culture and societal norms or rules are transferred from one generation to another generation. Obviously my parents have taught me things, okay, and I am going to teach the same things to my children. So it is how you pass on the culture and the societal rules from one generation to another generation, right, by teaching them. Socialization is a lifelong learning process. Every society has got different social structure and hence the process of socialization is also different. So they are saying that socialization is a lifelong process. Okay, it starts from birth and it ends when you die. And every society has different rules. Every society has different customs. Every society has different ways of bringing their children up. For example, in America, they have a rule that after the child is 18 years old, the child is goes and leaves their parents' house. They go, they find their own house, they live on their own terms, they find new job and they do all those things. However, in India, it is not like that. We keep our children to ourselves till the time they are 24, 30 years old, right? So each society has different rules of socialization. Each society has different customs and traditions. And because of that, even the process of socialization is different from each society. The way socialization is done in India may be different from the way socialization is done in America or Britain or anywhere else. There can be changes in the process of socialization because of internal interaction and different culture, lifestyle, customs, tradition, etc. I told you, right? Why is the socialization different? Because every society's rules, tradition, customs, the way they follow, the religion they follow is different. Right, the way I was taught socialization is different from the way you were taught socialization. Okay, in Muslim countries or in countries, Saudi Arabia, okay, in a lot of other Muslim countries, interacting with boys is not allowed. Right, it's not allowed at all unless and until you get married to someone. Okay, so that is a different level of socialization. In India, we do not have such rules. We do interact with males, right? So every society's tradition, customs, belief, lifestyle is different. Which also differs from socialization process in children. After family, the other institute that affects socialization are school, culture, religion, caste, etc. Children who are brought up in a family who have strict and rigid religious practices have positive attitude towards religion. Language, province, geographical location all help in socialization. So now what happens? The first they have said, what is the first tool for socialization? You have your family. Then what is the other tool for socialization? School. Then it is culture, caste, religion, then nation. It goes on and on and on and on, right? So what they are trying to tell you is that the first when the child is born, the child will socialize with the family. Then the child will socialize to schools. Then the child will learn about culture, traditions, etc. when the child interacts with rest of the family members. Let us say when they are meeting, the family is getting together for Diwali function. So the child will learn about religion, the child will learn about its culture, about caste, all these things during that point of time, right? During functions, traditions, marriages. At that time, the child will learn about culture, traditions, etc. Now, what they are trying to say is, let us say there is a family who strongly believes in religion and teaches religion very strongly to the child. Then the child will have positive attitude towards religion. Okay. Now they are saying the socialization or the process or the attitude development differs from geographical location, from each state, languages. Okay, you might know that the people in South India are very strict, so their way of socialization is different than the people who are there in North, then the people who are there in West, then the people who are there in East. So it changes and changes from every geographical location that you shift. Okay, example, a Gujarati will eat their staple food, Punjabi will give more importance to dairy products, in South India more usage of coconut and rice etc. is done. Suggest that lifestyle and habit as per geographical location, how to respect elders, welcome guests, clothing style etc. are also developed by socialization. So here they are saying કે ગુજરાતમાં આપણે food જે ખાઈએ છે is different from the food that is there in Punjab, then the food that is there in West, East and South. And the way you dress up, the way you talk, the way you respect to elders, the way you the kind of language you use, okay, whether you talk to elders in a respectful way, whether you say tu tu or whether you say aap, also depends on your process of socialization. I have seen lot, like when I was studying in Fatima convent, I studied there till I was in 5th standard, and I know that there were so many people in my class who used to tell their parents tu, and who used to say mummy tu ahiya aao, mummy tu. So, and I used to feel very awkward because I used to keep saying up to my mom. So I used to feel very weird. I was like, why are they saying tu? Okay, so obviously the way I have been brought up is different from the way other people have been brought up. So socialization depends on that. Next is direct and personal experience. Experience is the best teacher. Okay, you learn most amount of things from your experience. If you know that by let's say कि you are cutting vegetables, તમારું ધ્યાન નથી અને ભૂલમાંથી તમને છરી વાગી ગઈ અને blood નીકળે છે, so you learned from your experience that if I cut vegetables at a fast speed without paying attention, I'll cut myself. So next time you will be extra careful. So experience is your best teacher. Every individual learns from experience. All of you all learn. Even I learn from my experience. Everybody learns from their experience. Individuals' experience are specific and their understanding is also based on perspective of individual. So they are saying every individual goes through experiences, and the way you see an experiences depends upon your perspective. And what is perspective? The way you look at things, right? Sometimes હું એક સિચ્યુએશન આપને આપું તો એ સિચ્યુએશનને હું કઈ રીતના જોઉં છું, આપ કઈ રીતના જોવો છો, એ અલગ અલગ હશે, right? The way I see things is different from the way you see things, right? So how you see experience in a positive way or in a negative way all depends upon your perspective. Okay, many people in the same situation react differently because their experience, past knowledge, education, understanding is all different. The way you react to things, the way you understand things, it all depends upon your upbringing, it depends upon your experience, your past knowledge, okay, your understanding of different things, your education, etc. For example, a very strict teacher has helped any student in personal way by taking care and guiding her, then the student will have positive attitude towards the teacher in comparison to other students because of her positive direct personal experience. So they have told you over here that let us say in a class there is a teacher who is very very strict, but personally she has helped another student out in studies, or let's say in a money wise or in any other way, then that child will form positive attitude towards that teacher. Okay, nonetheless the other class might feel the teacher is strict, but this child, the other child will feel no, this teacher is nice because she has helped me out. Now, effects of mass media. It is said that 20th century was science and 21st century is technology era. In the modern era, science and technology both have been comprehensive. So science and technology is something which go hand in hand, and they both go together, right? And right now we live in a time that we are constantly in touch with social media. Your mental health, the way you think, how much hours you spend on social media, it all develops your attitude. Let's say I am following pages on Instagram, or let's say I am following pages on Facebook, which promotes lot of hate, then automatically I will also have lot of hate in myself, because I am following pages that create hate. Okay, so science and technology is something which go hand in hand. They both help in conveying information and entertainment faster, which has changed the life of human beings all around the world. So now they have said that they provide us entertainment, they provide us knowledge, they provide us lot of things, and that is why things have changed right now, because you come to know about information in fractions of seconds. Something happening in Nepal, something happening in China, you will come to know in few seconds or in few minutes. Okay, and it is good also and it is bad also, the way you take it, right? We also had debate upon social media, right? Times and again, people are personally give a message or a letter, which was very time consuming, whereas in today's modern time, newspaper, TV, mobile, internet, WhatsApp, Twitter, Facebook, Google, etc. are important medium of communication, which is quick and authentic. So earlier, if you had to pass the message, you had to call someone, wait someone on the call, or you had to write a letter. But now it is not like that. You come to know about information through newspaper, mobile, internet, okay, Google, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all these things, okay? And communication has become faster and real. Authentic means real, okay? An event taking place anywhere around him in the world can reach to the people, where within minutes we also get response immediately. So obviously you are traveling anywhere, you put stories, okay, of you traveling to places. So within minutes people come to know, okay, you are at this place right now, you are here, you're this, you're eating this, you're eating that, you're doing this right now, you're doing that right now. And people come to know directly, and they also give their opinions at that point of time only, right? If you post a picture, somebody will say, oh, this picture is very pretty, this is very lovely, oh, you are in this place, oh, you must be enjoying yourself, etc., etc. It is a good way also, it's bad also, okay? Like, not everybody shouldn't know where you are all the time. There were live telecasts of Uttarakhand Fund on television, and people saw how military aided those who were affected by the flood. Seeing this attitude of the people became more firm and positive towards army. Mass media has become more important source of life-changing and forming attitudes of the people. So what happened when Uttarakhand flood happened, right? We all were seeing the news, we were all seeing the live news, and at that point of time we saw how military was helping people at the time of floods, and that is how we developed positive attitude towards military. So this were the factors that lead to attitude formation.